Shalom, everybody. Welcome to the Midrash portion reunion roadmap. This is David Jones. With me today is Barry Phillips. Shalom, brother.
Shalom, back at you, brother.
Well, we've got some interesting things to ponder today, if you will. And I've been thinking, and I know we've kind of.
That's dangerous. Oh no.
Yeah, you might. I might just want to stop right there. I know we've talked a little bit about it, but I kind of wanted to talk a little more and kind of hash it out a little bit here. Sometimes there are some things that we know, but we need to be reminded of from time to time. And I think this might be one of these subjects that a lot of people know and just haven't stopped to think about it again, or some people might not have thought about it. And so I think this could hit in both of those areas. And that's the idea that what you believe is not what you think. And that that could be kind of an oxymoron to some people. It's like, wait a minute, how does this work? You know, but because we say when we believe something, well, these are my thoughts, these are my ideologies, these are the things within me. This is what I believe. And I'm thinking more of a scriptural term to that. What you believe, you don't really believe it until you act on it. And belief in scripture, the word believe, I mean, especially, Hebrew, as faith. And faith is trust. But there's an action to that. It's not a passive thing. In order to say that you trust, you have to act on that which you trust. And it's an old analogy, and it's by this time, it's probably cliche, but it's very true. I can trust that when I go and I sit in a chair, it's going to hold me. But unless I sit in the chair, I haven't really shown that I believe that. And there has to be this showing element to our belief. And that is what I'm thinking. Belief isn't really belief until it becomes an action. And that will reveal our heart, reveal our intent, and reveal the one that we trust. We say we believe God, but do we really believe him unless we act on his word? Because that's what he asked us to do.
Most often, if you are in a discussion of belief systems or opinions, people will respond with such things as, well, the way I see it is, or well, I think it should be this way, or this is what I think. Rarely do you ever hear anyone say, well, what I do is this. You're right. Actions really define beliefs. I remember many years ago, decades ago, working on a job, and my boss was a how shall I say it, staunch fundamentalist style Baptist guy, and I was raised and was currently at that point in my old line Pentecostal denomination. Our church taught the doctrine of divine healing, and he was staunchly of the opinion that went out with the apostles. So he looked at me and he said, so you believe that you can lay hands on the sick and that they'll be healed? I said, yes, that can happen. He said, no, you don't. I said, yes, I do. He said, then why are you today not in the hospitals going up and down the halls and praying for people to get them out of the hospital? He called me at a place where I wasn't really prepared to answer. So I came up with something like, well, people have to be willing to receive it, and et cetera. I began to make excuses, but he had a legitimate point. If we say we believe in divine healing, then we need to be praying for people to be healed. If we say that we believe that miracles can take place, then we need to be availing ourselves and looking for the opportunity for the miracles to be worked through us. So you haven't really demonstrated your belief until you actually try. But what, David, normally happens in our mind is the question comes up, but what if it doesn't work?
Yeah.
So what if I pray for somebody to be healed and they don't get healed? What if I attempt to cast out a demon and they won't come out? Then what do I do?
You know, what I love in the scripture is the story of the man who came to Yeshua, and Yeshua says, believe. And the man says, I love his response. I believe.
You've helped my
unbelief. Oh man, that is so real. And I think that's identifying, yes, I do believe, but there are areas of my life where I fall short in what I believe, but I know it in my heart to be true. But yet I've got these other things within me warring against that truth.
Well, as you're saying that, I'm thinking of the woman with the issue of blood. Her desperation drove her to do something. Now, you would say, well, she never professed her belief. Oh, yes, she did. When she lunged for the seat at the edge of Yeshua's prayer garment, that was demonstrating her belief. She believed that if she could touch those tassels, that she could be healed. And so she did what she needed to do. And she received her healing. So sometimes, I won't say sometimes, it's not what we say, it's what we do.
Oh, see, now it's like when the scriptures testifies of Avram. He said he believed Yahweh and he counted it to him as righteousness. It's not just, okay, I'm going to do these things for you. I'm going to give you a child. No, it's not just saying, well, okay, then I guess so. No, it's belief is, I'm going to have full faith and work according to what I have been given and what I believe. And Hebrews 11, I mean, belief and faith are equated to the same things. Faith, trust, believe, they all work together. And in Hebrews chapter 11, it's not just, well, because of faith. Faith wasn't just a hope or a belief. Faith was an action. Because we see, because so-and-so believed, they did something. And you read through the whole chapter, it's like that. This person believed, and there was an action associated with that belief. Mm-hmm. So because we believe something, will spur us, I don't necessarily want to say compel, but will spur us to change our actions and behavior. What do you think about that?
So the person then who says, I want to be free from whatever malady or addiction or negative habit is, until they are willing to put into play some discipline and some active change, it's just a mental wish. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Oh, wow. That's a great way to put it, Barry, because it's kind of like, well, then we make the excuses. Well, I can't do it in my own strength, so I'm going to wait for God to miraculously make this change in my life. Yeah. And until he does, well, this is just who I am. No, because if we really have that desire, we will act on that desire. And if we truly believe what the word says, it will change our actions and behavior, even in little ways. I'm not saying we have to make these drastic changes overnight. I'm just saying even in little ways, in the way we approach life and others, it will start to change us because of the way that we believe. I mean, old things have passed away, all things have become new, right? But we have to learn what the Father desires for us to walk in this newness of life that he's given us. So we get in the Word. And as we get in the Word, what we believe about the world and the world systems and perceptions, it all changes. And therefore it changes how we act and behave.
So we're not saying, however, that your mind has nothing to do with it.
Oh, no, not at all. It's like,
so, I mean, it can't be, well, I'm going to, in order to bring about change, I'm going to change my daily routine. I'm going to get up an hour earlier and spend that time in prayer and in scripture, or I'm going to go to bed earlier and try to get up early, whatever it is that you're going to try to do. It does start in the mind. And a lot of people, I won't say a lot of people, sometimes people go through the right mechanics, but their attitude stinks.
Okay.
So they go to work every day because at the end of the pay period, they want a paycheck. But while they're at work, they're mumbling and grumbling about the job and its work conditions and their supervisors and their coworkers. You may be doing the right thing, but if your mind is not engaged, will it profit you? It's no different than those who go through the mechanics of observing Shabbat or feast days, but they're not demonstrating heart connection. They're just doing the mechanics. It's the mundane. Well, I'm doing this so he doesn't judge me. I'm trying to stay out of trouble by doing what is required of me. And I have to do this because, well, it's what I know to be true, but it's not really what my heart's involved with. On Shabbat, you're sitting in the house upset that you can't go play golf. So, it's an attitude is the beginning of fruit bearing. But you have to, having a right mindset, a right belief. I believe that if I have good soil and good seed, that if I will make that physical connection between the two, that the Father will give rain and increase and I can grow a crop.
Now, I think that's a perfect way to put it, Barry, because, I believe if I put this seed in the ground, that it's going to grow. But if we never put that seed in the ground, I could say I believe it, but we have to do it. And now we're back to the area that James told us about. We know it well. What's it say?
Well, it says in chapter 1, verse 22, but be doers of the word and not hearers only, and do not deceive yourselves. For if any man will be a hearer of the word and not a doer of it, he will be like one who sees his face in a mirror, for he sees himself and passes on and forget what man he is. So you listening to the word gets into your spirit, gets into your mind, gets into your being, but it doesn't bear fruit until it gets into your actions, to your hands and feet, to your mouth, to your being as far as what you're doing. So, your heart, your mind, your focus, your attention, your efforts, and what Rob also said, David, don't be weary in well doing. You will reap a harvest if you faint not. But man, the patience to allow the seed to germinate in the ground and break open and push through the soil and do its work and bear fruit. You don't sow a seed today and eat tomatoes tonight. It just doesn't work that way.
Oh, so what you're saying is belief is it's something that we have to do, but yet it takes time to bear fruit, and it takes time for it to have an effect around us sometimes.
Well, it may be a subject for next week or something, but the idea is perseverance, endurance, and dare I say patience. We want to start the race and win. Russell said, "You got to run the whole race, Bubba.
You don't win till you finish."
Yeah, you got to get all the way across the line, man. So,
well, I think that's encouraging. We look forward to running the race, but keep your eyes on the goal. You got to finish the race. It's not if you come in first. You just got to finish. Get there. And that'll kind of lead us out, Barry. Any final thoughts?
Keep planting. Sometimes seeds are duds. Keep planting. There's a live one in there somewhere, and it will produce a harvest. And if you're interested in a harvest from this program, you're listening in, you got ideas, subjects that you want to hear discussed, we'd love to hear from you. You can reach us at Reunion Roadmap at B'naiYosefNA.com.